guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by again, and if you're new, welcome of course. Today I decided to record my eyebrow tutorial for you guys. Yes, I'm finally doing just a focused eyebrow tutorial. I've had so many questions on it. Little disclaimer, no, it was not a secret. Everybody thought I wasn't adding a full eyebrow routine in makeup tutorials because I wanted to keep it a secret how I did them because everybody thought they were so good, but it's totally not a secret, I promise. And now I can prove that to you. I just wanted to wait until I got my new camera in so that I could give you guys really good quality and you could see exactly what I was doing, since I get so many questions on it. It's finally here, you guys, so I hope you really like it and enjoy it. And if you guys would like to see how I fleek my brows, just go ahead and keep on watching. And today I think I'm gonna use a pomade because a lot of you guys ask, and I do like to use black eyeshadow a lot, but I know that black eyeshadow is a lot harder for a lot of people to use. But I also do really love this product. This is the NYX Tame and Frame. So I just use this. I like to use a more affordable version, that way I can keep buying a new one. But I do use Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. This is their angled brush. It's really small, and I like that it's really thin and precise. And then it has a spoolie on the other side. To start off, this product does, like I said, dry out a lot. I do go ahead and kind of move the product around. The very first step, I'm just gonna go ahead and comb through my eyebrows with the spoolie side. And you're just gonna kind of comb them up and into place so you can really kind of see that natural shape of the brow. I have worked really hard to grow out my eyebrows. I feel like I was one of those victims of over plucking when I first started makeup because I really wanted, you know, that arch look and everything. When I start lining, I'm gonna go with the natural thickest shape of my eyebrow. If anything, I'm going to overfill them, then underfill. So I'm going to take my angled brush and my NYX Tame and Frame, and this is in the color black. To start in my arch, and I start by just lining the arch with the most product. Sorry, this step is going to have the most product on the brush. And I'm just gonna keep lining really slowly, and take your time, and I'm gonna line all the way out to my tail. So I just lined under my arch and all the way to my tail. If you want to see where you want your eyebrows to start and end, a really good trick is to take any brush. You can take the eyebrow brush you're using, line it up with your nose. That's where you're going to want your eyebrows to start, and then line it up with the corner of your eye, and that's where you're going to want your eyebrows to end. I'm just so used to doing them that I naturally end it right there, but if you're not sure where to, go ahead and make a little mark for yourself. And then to continue on, I'm going to go back to that arch. I'm just gonna fill it in, but again, I'm just gonna keep working up from the arch area. You can see I'm just going all the way up to where the top of my hairs are, and I'm just trying to make a really straight line. Right now I'm actually making my arch, so hopefully you guys can just watch and see how I do that. The place where you can find your arch is to, again, take that brush and go from the side of your nose through the middle of your pupil, and that's where your arch should be. Once I reach the arch area, I'm gonna go down to the tail. You don't wanna curve it out too much. I know I'm making it look like it's super easy to make all the straight lines. It's not. I know that this took me a lot of practice. You know, be patient with yourself, and we are going to fix it with concealer, so don't panic. If you mess up, you don't necessarily have to wipe it all off and start over if you're trying to follow along for the tutorial. Just keep going, and I'll show you guys how you can clean it up. I like to look in the mirror a lot while I'm doing it. So for me right now, what I'm seeing is my arch looks a little bit thin to me. So I'm going to go ahead and add some more pomade in my arch so that it can match the rest of my brow. So I'm just gonna go under the line I already drew, just a teeny bit under, and thicken it up a little bit. And if a pencil or powder is easier for you to use, definitely by all means go ahead and use that. I like the consistency of the pomade. So after I finish the arch and the outside of my brow, that is how I started. I know it looks a little crazy because the inside doesn't have anything, But after doing that, a lot of times my brush tends to kind of like spread out. So one of my really good tricks to getting like a sharp line even before concealer, like this with your fingers, you are going to get the pomade on your fingers, but it gives you a really new sharp brush to work with for the front of your brow. And for this part, I'm only going to dip in the pomade one time. Like the most amount of product to be right here, and then what's left I just kind of start shading in the rest of the line with the extra product that's kind of stuck in the brush, because I don't personally like the boxy front brow look. If you do, more power to you. I think to each his own, but for me, it doesn't flatter my face. I'm going to start to fill in the area above where I did that line. I'm just going like this. I'm not doing like hair-like strokes necessarily. I'm just holding the brush horizontally and just flicking to the left. So flicking towards the outside of my eyebrow. And that's just how the product applies the best for me. And then as I go over it, as I keep flicking without adding more product, it just kind of shades in the rest of it and gives it like a nice even application. So we have the brush this way. You're gonna go ahead and flip the brush that way so it's going vertically, and go from the last part that you shaded in over, and you're just gonna rub back and forth. Don't add any more product. This is kind of like the dry pomade that's left in the brush, and it's just gonna like slowly shade in the front of your eyebrow. As you can see, like there's a little bit sparse areas right there. Not adding any more product, just again with that shading technique, I'm going to try to lightly fill those in. Go over it with your spoolie, kind of make sure everything's looking right. And then my little eyebrow secret. I'm a perfectionist, so a lot of times like I focus too much on little things that nobody else would care about. So I wasn't trying to keep it a secret. I never will keep anything a secret. I want everybody to be on fleek and I want everybody to win. So if you guys want to know about anything I do in like real time, specifically talk through, I can totally do that. So the most important step to my eyebrow routine, a L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. Instead of like a brow setting gel, I use mascara. The eyebrow setting gels, they just were never dark enough for me. Like they weren't showing my eyebrows the way I wanted them to be shown. Yeah, I have very fine eyebrow hairs. I wouldn't say like I don't have any eyebrows. My eyebrow hairs are just really thin and like fine textured, but they are black. So I just like kind of lightly coat them. But I would say this is something you should practice. I wouldn't like use it the first time when you're going out somewhere really important or when you're a rush out the house. Like kind of get used to like the flick of the wrist of just getting those eyebrow hairs coated with mascara without getting it everywhere else. So this works really well. You can see the wand. It's like really thin and it has like these little teeny bristles, so it catches the eyebrow hairs. While I leave the front lighter so that when I coat these hairs, it really makes them pop, and lightly flick. And as you can see already, it's already making them show more. So when I'm coating them, I'm flicking them up because that's the natural direction that my eyebrow hairs go. And again, we're trying to make it a little more natural and make sure you coat every hair you want. I'm gonna let this dry for a sec, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go over the rest of the hairs just really lightly, and this is more to set them into place. I would recommend, if you're new at it, do this step before you conceal. That way if you do get a little bit of mascara or you catch some hairs you don't want, you can still clean it up. So I'm just gonna go over it one more time. See how the mascara got a little bit clumpy, and that doesn't look very natural. Eyebrow scissors, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut my eyebrow hairs straight across to give it a cleaner look. There's still a little bit of clumping right there. To take the spoolie again, this is once the mascara is dry. I'm just gonna kind of flick it off. Okay, now we're gonna clean up this wonderful brow. These are the two concealers that I usually use. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. This is a thinner consistency. I'm in the color medium 25 in this one, and this one is also from the drugstore. Or I use my MAC Pro Longwear concealer, which I need a new one of this one as well. I'm in the color NC35 in this one. And this one's a lot thicker and it dries a lot faster, and it's definitely harder to work with. So if you're trying out for the first time, definitely go with something like this, more affordable than this one. So starting out, we're gonna definitely want to stick with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. These are both from the drugstore. Some drugstores don't hold NYX, and definitely go to an Ulta. They have this at Ulta for sure. That's where I get mine from, and I get this one from CVS. And then I'm going to take a flat brush with that concealer, and the flat brush I use right now is a straight across flat brush. I used to use more of this kind of shape. The reason I switched is because the flat brush got me a lot sharper look because I was able to just go straight across. But when I first tried to use this, I could not figure out how to get the arch part of it, you know, since it's flat. That wasn't working out for me. So I did start off with a brush more of this shape, kind of like the arch shape. That way I was able to get that because the natural shape of the brush just helped me do that a lot better. It's preference, practice, and trial and error for sure. So I'm gonna use this flat brush today, and I'm gonna use the MAC Studio Fix concealer, and just go ahead and put it on a flat surface. I just put it on top of this little Amazon concealer palette I have. Just dab some of that on there. You're gonna take your fingers and pinch it so you get like the sharpest application possible. So just pinch and pull up through the brush. That way it gets really nice and sharp. I always start with my arch in everything I do. Center. And I'm going to start underneath. That way I don't get like a really thick application of concealer right under my eyebrow. And I'm going to work my way up to that arch. I'm really just sharpening and highlighting that line. And then for the end, it's a little bit thicker than I would like it. So I am going to go ahead and go up a little bit higher with this line. And then from the part you're concealing from, and drag that concealer down like that. That way it makes it a lot easier for us to blend it in. And then this is working my way towards the front. And same thing, flicking that extra concealer down so that we can still blend it out. I'm gonna try to keep that line and cut off some of what's on the bottom. I'm just gonna bring it straight across. The extra concealer. I'm going to take this brush. It's an Eco Tools. I want to say it's called a concealer brush, but I'm not really sure. I've had it for like a super long time. I'm going to take that and blend out all that concealer, as it is definitely starting to dry, but this brush usually does the job anyways. So after you do that step, you'll see that it definitely like brightened underneath the eyebrow, kind of gives it like a very subtle highlighted look. So that is pretty much all for my eyebrow routine. I'm just gonna do one eyebrow because this video I'm sure is long enough. And I also wanted to show you guys a little difference so you could see. So this is gonna be my natural eyebrow without being filled in. And then this is after all the filling. It looks much thicker, but my hairs do go up all the way to like right there, but you really can't see them because of all the foundation over it. And this is definitely my worst eyebrow. Let's zoom out so you guys can see the difference of kind of how filling in your eyebrows, especially filling them in correctly, can like frame your face. You guys really enjoyed it and learned a lot. Yeah.